Have you noticed that simple activities you used to do without thinking, like playing with your grandchildren or climbing a flight of stairs, now leave you winded and wondering where your energy went? Are you frustrated by stubborn belly fat that won't budge no matter what diet you try, declining muscle mass that makes you feel weaker every year, and a sex drive that's become practically non-existent? What if I told you that just 3 specific exercises could address all of these problems simultaneously while naturally restoring your testosterone levels and improving erectile function? And here's the part that most men over 50 don't realize. The exercises you're probably doing right now might actually be making things worse, not better. Hi, my name is Dr. Paul Johnson, and over the past 14 years, I've specialized in helping men over 50 reclaim their vitality through evidence-based exercise and lifestyle strategies. I've watched hundreds of patients walk through my office door feeling defeated, convinced that declining testosterone, disappearing erections, and deteriorating health were just inevitable parts of getting older. But the research tells a completely different story, and what I've witnessed in my practice confirms it. The right exercises, performed correctly, can trigger a cascade of positive changes that restore testosterone levels, improve erectile function, rebuild muscle mass, reduce stubborn body fat, enhance cardiovascular health, sharpen mental clarity, and yes, even reignite the confidence and vitality you thought were gone forever. Now, before we dive into these 3 powerful exercises, I need to mention something important. Everything I'm sharing today is educational information and shouldn't replace personalized guidance from your own healthcare provider. Always consult with your doctor before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have existing health conditions or haven't been physically active recently. I remember when Gerald, a 58-year-old accountant, came to see me completely frustrated because his doctor had told him his testosterone was sitting at just 290 nanograms per deciliter, well below the healthy range for his age. He'd also been struggling with erectile dysfunction for almost 2 years, and his wife was becoming increasingly concerned about the emotional distance growing between them. After implementing the exact 3 exercise protocol I'm about to share with you, his testosterone increased by 19% within just 16 weeks, and he reported that his erectile function had improved so dramatically that he felt like he was in his 30s again. Let me explain the science behind why these specific exercises work so powerfully for both testosterone and erectile function. When you perform compound movements that engage multiple large muscle groups simultaneously, your body responds by releasing both growth hormone and testosterone. But here's the critical detail that most men miss. Not all exercises trigger this hormonal response equally, and more importantly, the quality of blood flow to your pelvic region matters just as much as your hormone levels when it comes to erectile function. A randomized controlled trial examining 55 men with erectile dysfunction found that pelvic floor muscle exercises combined with lifestyle changes led to significantly better erectile function after just 3 months, with 42% of men experiencing complete restoration of normal erectile function. Research published in the British Journal of General Practice concluded that pelvic floor exercises should be considered a first-line approach for men seeking long-term resolution of erectile dysfunction. These movements work because they strengthen the specific muscles that control blood flow to the penis, the bulbocavernosus and ischiocavernosus muscles, which actively pump blood into the penis during an erection and help maintain that erection by preventing blood from leaving the area. The first exercise that should become the cornerstone of your routine is the squat, specifically the body weight or goblet squat variation. Squats are absolutely incredible because they engage your quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and core all at once, creating the perfect metabolic stress to trigger testosterone production. A study comparing squats to leg press exercises found that free weight squats produce significantly greater increases in both testosterone and growth hormone immediately after exercise compared to machine-based movements. But here's what makes squats particularly valuable for men over 50 dealing with erectile dysfunction. Squats dramatically improve blood flow to your entire lower body, including the pelvic region. The movement pattern activates the large muscle groups in your legs and hips, promoting better circulation throughout the pelvic area, which is essential for achieving and maintaining firm erections. Here's how to perform a proper body weight squat. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing slightly outward. Push your hips back as if you're sitting into a chair, keeping your chest up and your weight in your heels. Lower down until your thighs are parallel to the floor or as deep as your mobility comfortably allows. Drive through your heels to return to standing, squeezing your glutes at the top. Start with 3 sets of 8 to 12 repetitions. If bodyweight squats feel too easy, progress to goblet squats by holding a dumbbell or kettlebell at chest level, which adds resistance while helping you maintain proper upright posture throughout the movement. By the way, if you're finding this information valuable and you want more evidence-based strategies like this that are specifically designed for men over 50, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe to Paul Johnson, Senior Secrets, and turn on notifications. I share practical, research-backed content every week that could genuinely make a difference in your health, vitality, and quality of life, and I don't want you to miss anything that could help you feel like yourself again. The second exercise is pelvic floor muscle training, commonly known as Kegel exercises, and this is the single most important movement for directly improving erectile function. Most men think Kegels are only for women, but that couldn't be further from the truth. The pelvic floor muscles in men play a crucial role in erectile function by helping trap blood in the penis during an erection. When these muscles are weak, blood can leak out of the penis, making it difficult to achieve or maintain a firm erection. The bulbocavernosus muscle, which wraps around the base of the penis, becomes active during an erection and actually pumps blood into the penis while preventing blood from leaving. Studies examining pelvic floor rehabilitation have found that strengthening these muscles can be as effective as some medical treatments, with research showing that men who perform pelvic floor exercises experience significant improvements in erectile hardness, better ejaculatory control, and enhanced overall sexual function. Here's how to locate and exercise these critical muscles. The easiest way to find your pelvic floor muscles is to imagine you're trying to stop the flow of urine midstream. That squeezing sensation you feel is your pelvic floor engaging. You can also think about drawing your penis inward toward your body or squeezing the muscles you'd use to prevent passing gas. Once you've identified the correct muscles, here's how to exercise them properly. Lie on your back with your knees bent and feet flat on the floor. Squeeze your pelvic floor muscles and hold for 5 seconds, breathing normally throughout. Release and relax for 5 seconds. Repeat this squeeze and release pattern 10 times. Do this entire sequence 3 times per day, once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once in the evening. As these muscles get stronger over the next few weeks, gradually increase your hold time from 5 seconds up to 10 seconds, always maintaining normal breathing and never holding your breath. One of my patients, Vincent, a 63-year-old retired police officer, was skeptical about Kegel exercises when I first suggested them because he'd tried multiple medications for his erectile dysfunction with minimal success. He felt embarrassed that his problem had become so significant that his marriage was suffering. We started him on a simple pelvic floor exercise routine, just 3 sets of 10 repetitions daily. Within 8 weeks, he reported noticeable improvements in erectile firmness, and by 12 weeks he told me he was able to achieve and maintain erections firm enough for satisfying intercourse without any medication whatsoever. At this point, I want to be clear about something. The strategies I'm sharing require consistency and proper technique to produce results. Start gently, focus on perfect form rather than intensity, and listen to your body throughout the process. The third exercise that completes this powerful protocol is the deadlift, specifically the Romanian deadlift variation using dumbbells, which is safer and more accessible for men over 50. Deadlifts are exceptional because they engage your entire posterior chain, your hamstrings, glutes, lower back, and core, all working together under significant load. This massive recruitment of muscle tissue creates a powerful hormonal response that supports testosterone production. Research examining resistance training protocols found that exercises involving large muscle groups with moderate to heavy weights produce the most significant increases in testosterone levels. But deadlifts offer an additional benefit that's particularly important for erectile function. They strengthen your entire core and lower back region, improving overall pelvic stability and blood flow. A strong posterior chain also helps correct the forward hunched posture that many men develop over years of desk work, and better posture actually improves breathing efficiency and cardiovascular function, both of which support healthy erectile function. Here's the proper technique for a Romanian deadlift using dumbbells. Stand with your feet hip-width apart, holding a dumbbell in each hand in front of your thighs with palms facing your body. Keeping your knees slightly bent but not locked. Push your hips backward while lowering the dumbbells down the front of your legs. Maintain a neutral spine throughout the entire movement, never rounding your back. You should feel a deep stretch in your hamstrings as you lower the weights. Once you feel that stretch, drive through your heels and squeeze your glutes to return to the starting position. Perform 3 sets of 6 to 8 repetitions, focusing entirely on perfect form before you even think about increasing the weight. The key is controlling the weight throughout the entire range of motion, which builds strength and reinforces proper movement patterns that protect your lower back. Speaking of which, if you're getting real value from these science-backed strategies, I'd love it if you could hit the like button and share this video with other men who might benefit from this information. The more we can spread evidence-based health knowledge, the more men we can help reclaim their strength, vitality, and confidence. And make sure you stay subscribed to Paul Johnson, Senior Secrets, because I release new content every single week specifically designed to help you optimize your health, testosterone, and overall well-being after 50. Now let me share the critical mistakes that sabotage most men's results, and I want to make sure you avoid these pitfalls entirely. The first major mistake is performing these exercises with terrible form just to use heavier weights or do more repetitions. Perfect form with lighter weights will produce far better results and keep you injury-free compared to sloppy form with heavy weights that puts unnecessary stress on your joints. The second mistake is neglecting proper warm-up protocols. Your connective tissues need adequate preparation to handle the stress of these exercises, especially as you get older. Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes on light cardio to increase your core temperature. Then perform dynamic mobility exercises targeting your hips, shoulders, and spine before touching any weights. The third mistake is training too frequently without adequate recovery. Your body needs rest to adapt and grow stronger. Research clearly shows that men over 50 benefit most from training 3 to 4 days per week, with at least 1 full day of rest between training sessions. The fourth mistake is inconsistency with pelvic floor exercises. These muscles are like any other muscle in your body. They require regular, consistent training to get stronger. Missing days or doing them sporadically won't produce results. The fifth mistake is ignoring the importance of cardiovascular health. While strength training is crucial for testosterone and muscle, aerobic exercise like brisk walking, swimming, or cycling for 30 to 40 minutes several times per week improves overall blood flow and cardiovascular function, both of which are essential for healthy erectile function. Studies have found that men who combined aerobic exercise with resistance training experienced the greatest improvements in erectile function. I recently had a patient named Marcus, a 70-year-old grandfather, who came to me convinced that his best years were permanently behind him. His testosterone was sitting at 270 nanograms per deciliter. He'd completely given up on sexual intimacy with his wife, and he felt exhausted all the time. We started him on this exact 3-exercise protocol, beginning with very light weights and focusing intensely on proper form and consistency. After 5 months of training 3 days per week, his testosterone had increased to 340 nanograms per deciliter. He reported significant improvements in erectile firmness and duration. His energy levels had skyrocketed, and he told me with tears in his eyes that he felt reconnected to his wife in ways he thought were impossible. Here's your practical implementation plan to start this week. On Monday, perform bodyweight squats and pelvic floor exercises. Start with just 2 sets of each exercise, focusing entirely on learning proper form and muscle activation. On Tuesday, rest completely or do light stretching and a gentle walk. On Wednesday, perform Romanian deadlifts and pelvic floor exercises. Again, just 2 sets of deadlifts with very light dumbbells. On Thursday, rest. On Friday, repeat the Monday workout, but add a 3rd set to each exercise if you're feeling good and your form remains perfect. Continue this pattern for the first 2 weeks, gradually adding weight to your squats and deadlifts in small increments, never more than 5 pounds at a time. Remember to do your pelvic floor exercises 3 times every single day, not just on training days. Track your workouts in a simple notebook, recording the weight used, repetitions completed, and how you felt during each exercise. This data helps you apply progressive overload systematically rather than randomly guessing. The beautiful thing about this 3-exercise protocol is its elegant simplicity combined with its powerful effectiveness. You don't need expensive gym memberships, fancy equipment, or complicated programs. A basic set of dumbbells and some floor space are sufficient to transform your testosterone levels, restore your erectile function, and reclaim the vitality you thought was gone forever. These movements work because they engage the largest muscle groups in your body to trigger hormonal responses. They specifically strengthen the pelvic floor muscles that control erectile function. They build functional strength that translates directly to everyday activities. They improve cardiovascular health and blood flow throughout your entire body. They can be progressively scaled as you get stronger, and they address the root causes of declining testosterone and erectile dysfunction, rather than just masking symptoms. One more thing before we finish. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. What's your biggest challenge when it comes to maintaining your testosterone levels, erectile function, or overall vitality after 50? Are you dealing with low energy, declining muscle mass, erectile dysfunction, or just confusion about what actually works versus what's marketing hype? Drop a comment and let me know your specific situation, because your feedback directly influences the content I create to help address the real struggles you're facing. And of course, make sure you're subscribed to Paul Johnson, Senior Secrets, so you don't miss upcoming videos where I'll be diving deeper into nutrition strategies for testosterone, sleep optimization techniques, stress management approaches, and other science-backed methods specifically designed for men over 50. Remember, declining testosterone and erectile dysfunction are not inevitable consequences of aging that you just have to accept. They're largely the result of inactivity, poor nutrition, chronic stress, inadequate sleep, and lack of targeted exercise, all of which can be addressed through the right approach. The 3 exercises I've shared with you today, squats for lower body strength and circulation, pelvic floor exercises for direct erectile function improvement, and deadlifts for posterior chain strength and hormonal response, form the foundation of a program that has helped hundreds of my patients restore their testosterone levels, dramatically improve their erectile function, rebuild their confidence, and feel like themselves again. You have far more control over your sexual health and vitality than you probably realize. The research is absolutely clear. The results I've witnessed firsthand in my practice are undeniable, and the opportunity to change your situation is sitting right in front of you at this very moment. It's time to stop accepting decline as inevitable and start taking deliberate action to reclaim the strength, sexual function, and energy that are rightfully yours. Your best years don't have to be behind you. They can start right now, today, with these 3 simple but incredibly powerful exercises.